And so it's an unusual text for a science text, um, and it is very scientific. Okay, so he is a philosopher and historian of science, so he knows what he's talking about, and he studied these things fairly well. But in terms of the writing, again, just to get back to that, it's as he says in his introduction, it's really this his his original idea was to create like a sort of an epistolary novel, a letter writing novel or treatise with a friend of his, Imre Lakatos, um, who unfortunately died before they could realize the collaboration. So there is an extensive correspondence between these two guys where they sort of arguing back and forth, creating a type of Socratic dialogue. Uh, so you have Lakotas, who is the classic sort of mathematician and rationalist and logician, and you have Feyerabend, who is the more anarchistic, more dialectical, more critical of the whole science project. So it for it ends up creating a lively sort of lively discussion. Okay. His main points are going to be that he's definitely taking science down a peg, but he's not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. He's not some religious zealot who is condemning science. He's more going toward the idealization of science, right? He finds that very problematic, that when science is idealized and essentialized, and he really wants to bring a more historicist um, notion to bear with science. He also wants to bring in non-scientific cultures. This is back in the 70s. He's writing this, so he's well ahead of his time. But um, he's very interested in what non-scientific cultures have to say about the world. What they can give us. In their non-scientific way, some good ideas. So he really wants to sort of he this colonization that he sort of talks about that science sort of goes through, which can empty out the world and can empty out different cultures of their vibrancy and their thinking, is very very disturbing for Feyerabend.